Creative Schools, The Grassroots Revolution, written by Ken Robinson and Lou Aronica, is a persuasively written text promoting innovative education over industrialized education. Based on personal observations and the success of numerous school models currently in operation, the authors put forth that the traditional education system is diminishing the creativity of its students. Education needs to become more of a personal experience, building curriculum around the interests of its students. Ken Robinson writes, "Education is not an industrial process. It is an organic process." One of the themes in this book is to encourage the reader to think outside of the standardized box and ask, how can education be a more innovative process that functions to allow the unique needs of each learner in a meaningful and authentic way? How can I, as one, improve our current education system? To begin to transform an educational situation, whether starting in your classroom or redesigning a school system, 3 forms of understanding are put forth in this text: a critique of the way things are, a vision of how they should be, and a theory of change for how to move from one to another. Classroom facilitators can begin where they are to address these understandings. Brenda Durbin prompts us to know who our end users are and how best we can communicate with them. To address the needs of our end users, a school culture can be developed to encourage 4 key areas of growth: economic, developing responsible and independent citizens; social, providing opportunities for active and compassionate experiences; cultural, establishing a learning environment that nurtures an understanding, appreciation, and respect of self and others; and personal, enriching the unique minds and hearts of the learning community. Education thrives on partnership and collaboration. Therefore, understanding your end user can be a starting point to a better connection with your students and families while offering individualized instruction. In order to create an innovative educational experience for our 21st century students, we must begin in the place we are, whether as teacher, administrator, district leader, or other. We must make change within the system, press for changes to the system, and take initiatives outside the system.
So what does this look like in regards to how we teach students? What does our society need, and what is worth knowing? A quote by Ken Robinson states, "The starting point is to ask what students should know and be able to do as a result of their education." This question of, so what's worth knowing, has been heavy on my mind the last 6 months. As our site has shifted the way that we arrange and deliver our content, the idea of what's worth knowing has been a major emphasis at our site. In Ken Robinson's text, he does a great job of bringing this up as a questioning of what we are doing within our classrooms and within our schools to meet the needs of our current students. So what skills do our students need? They need math skills? Do they need collaboration skills? Do they need writing skills? Ken Robinson talks about the curriculum within schools in terms of structure, content, mode, and ethos. Structure is the day-to-day operations of a school or classroom. At my site, our structure has changed drastically this year by offering different length periods for specific purposes. Content is what we teach, and according to Andreas Schleckler, his quote, "The world economy no longer pays you for what you know. Google knows everything." This quote really aligns with my beliefs and with what Ken Robinson is talking about throughout the book. Information is no longer a commodity. We can search up anything. And so as we are teaching students, are we teaching them skills to be able to be self-learners, or are we teaching them information that is just for them to memorize and regurgitate? Mode is how students engage within the content. Going back to movies that depict education, you see a lot of rows, a lot of lectures. And Ken Robinson argues, is this really the best way to engage students? In my own experience, as we've gone to more of a task-based model, we are having opportunities for students to collaborate, talk, and share their experiences within groups or online. A major facet of this book is the fact that content cannot just be thought of in terms of subjects, but in terms of skills. And this quote, "Creativity is now as important in education as literacy," really starts to lead into what Ken Robinson has dubbed the 8 C's. These 8 C's, argues Ken Robinson, should be intertwined within our content delivery. And so how are we fostering criticism, creativity, collaboration, and these other C's within our classroom becomes a really important question. Ken Robinson in his text showcases what is called big picture learning. Big picture learning is a powerful example of how connecting schools with the world around them and integrating academic and vocational programs can lead to much higher levels of engagement and achievement. The core idea behind Big Picture Schools is that education is the responsibility of everyone in the community. The integration of academic and vocational programs, as well as experiences within their community, really allows Big Picture Schools to be individualized to the community that they are engaged with. At one of the Big Picture Schools, the emphasis is not on memorization or preparing for a test, but it's on creating effective learners. Because as quoted, effective learners will know what to do when they don't know what to do. At the beginning of each chapter, Robinson gives an example of a school that has been dubbed a creative school because they have reached beyond the traditional realms of education to meet the needs of their students. An example of a creative school is the Boston Arts Academy. They are operating from a different sense of what education should and could be, and they have a different sense of success. The intersection of skills is an important facet of the Boston Arts Academy. Headmaster Ann Clark states that they not only are teaching the arts, but they're intertwining skills such as persistence, collaboration, creativity, vision, and voice. To quote Ann Clark, "Creativity and interdisciplinary thinking are what the world demands, and I think that's why our graduates are so successful." Much like Boston Academy of Arts, High Tech High in San Diego integrates one discipline into another in a project-based approach. As quoted by the founding principal Larry Rosenstock, High Tech High is trying to wed the pedagogy of tech with the content of academics. At our site, there's a lot of doing going on. It's like uncovering the subject rather than covering the subject. Students work with teachers who are working in teams, and you're not going from subject to subject that much. You're making and creating a lot of things. It is examples such as these that Ken Robinson relies on in his text. How can we change the dynamics of education to meet the needs of our changing students, economy, and job market?